Now, He's promised of His return. The world's forgotten it, like they've forgotten His birth. But God is marching on. God has a plan He will fulfill. God has a plan that nothing can stop it. No one can stop it. Nothing in this world can stop God's plan. Because God is almighty and all-powerful, and He owns this world, all of it. And He will have His day. We're called to be on guard. You know what it means? Be alert. Be alert. Are we alert? Are we aware of the time we're in? Are we aware? Have we read our Bibles to know what the signs Jesus said about His return? Of course, He said, no man knows that hour except the Father. Well, the Father will tell the Son one day, go, get your bride, the church. And the Son will obey His Father and come in great glory, in great glory. We're to watch for the signs. Jesus says today, did you hear, when the fig tree starts to bloom, this generation will not pass away till all these things be fulfilled. This is the most important verse, I think, in all the Bible. Because it says, when the fig tree blooms. That's the sign. That's the signal. That's when He says, okay, let's go. And what's the fig tree? As I said before, the fig tree represents Israel. Jesus once went to the temple, and He was hungry, and He reached for the fig on the tree. There was no fig there. And what did He do? He cursed the tree, and it withered up. The disciples said, see, it's all withered up, because you cursed it. And Jesus said, because they don't recognize my hour, all this will be taken away. And the Jews were marched in after the fall of Jerusalem to all of the lands, all through the world, where they were until 1948. And then the League of Nations decided that they give Israel as a homeland for the Jews. And that was, boom, a promise fulfilled. Also, Isaiah says, can a nation be born in one day? Israel was born that day. And still exists, even though its enemies are trying to squeeze it to death, Israel is still there. And the sign the Lord said, when that fig tree comes to bloom, that's the sign that all this will take place in that generation. Well, it could be in our own time. We could be here, living, when Jesus returns. Think about that. All the generations have gone by that have waited for Him not to happen because that fig tree had not bloomed. Now we're in the generation in which it has bloomed, in which Israel is a nation, in which His people are coming back because they are awaiting what? The Messiah. Well, they're awaiting the Messiah they think is coming, but they missed the first Messiah. Because we look back in Ezekiel and Jeremiah and Isaiah, it says the Messiah will come first as a suffering servant, and then return as the Lion of Judah. So they're waiting for the Lion of Judah, but they missed the suffering servant. And He will come with great power and glory very soon. Eyes should be on Israel. Because this will not pass away to all be fulfilled. Now, you know, I use a GPS because I don't know where I'm going anytime. I mean, you think it'd be simple, you know how to get here and there, but I always get lost. It never astounds me so much that my family, Dad, you're going down the wrong street. No. You turn the wrong way. I have no sense of direction. That's why I need a GPS. We have no sense of direction without this book, the Bible. We're just going around circles, not knowing what's happening. Why do all these things happen in the world? Why is it like this? Because we don't read our Bibles. Everything that's happening right now is exactly what Jesus said would happen. So we need to put our spiritual GPS on to know what direction we're going in and what direction the world is going in right now. So we're aware that we're traveling to a certain place, the heavenly Jerusalem. Now, God has called us to be the gatekeeper. Gatekeeper is someone who watches to get the sheep into the pen. That's what it was. And so the gatekeeper is there to make sure all the sheep get in safely. And that's our job. We are to bring sheep in to the pen, the church. Now you say, we are lacking in that. Well, that's the priest's job. That's the bishop's job. That's the clergy's job. It really isn't. It's your job. You have friends. You have neighbors. You have family who don't know Jesus. And they'll be left out unless you bring them in. You need to share the word of Jesus Christ with everybody you meet, no matter who they are or where they are. You need to share that word. That's the gospel call. They went out, the disciples went out from Jerusalem and shared it to the entire world. And sometimes we're just sitting there and we're not sharing anything. Well, that's a private thing. Religion is a private thing. I don't want to talk about religion to anybody else. That's ridiculous. Religion is not private. Christianity is not a private thing. It's something to be proclaimed from the mountaintop, to have everybody be a part of it. To go out and spread the good news. To protect, to interpret, and prepare. Do you know the season you are in?